So in SEMrush, you can find all the information that is public all over the world with more than 20 billion keywords with a couple of clicks.
Hey, welcome back to More Than Marketing. I'm your host, Arsha Mirsha. We are remote as we're still in the middle of a pandemic. And today I have the head of communications from SEMrush, SEMrush. I think you guys call it SEMrush, search engine marketing rush, whatever, right? And Fernando Agula. I pronounced it right?
Angulo.
Agulo, I'm sorry, Miss O. Fernando Agulo. Yeah, you've been at SEMrush for 9 years, coming in September, and my understanding is you manage a team, a really awesome team that's doing a lot of different channels, like influencers, as well as PR and all the marketing channels that you would imagine that roll up to you, which is impressive. As well, you speak, right, at like however many conferences a year. I'm very interested to see how that's changing given the pandemic. But very nice to have you today. And one thing I want to note, Fernando, that I find very impressive is when I was doing research on you, I find that you're writing articles in different languages. So like my parents are from Iran, so I speak Farsi, but I cannot articulate B2B.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I can't articulate, B2B digital marketing strategies in Farsi. You see what I'm saying? Like I can't write about them in Farsi. So the fact that I see you doing that in Spanish, it looked like, is very cool, very impressive.
Well, it is. Thank you for having me here today.
Sure.
I was expecting for this one, and of course, my mother tongue, my main language is Spanish. But the last 20 years, I was living in Russia. So I was studying. I was getting married. I had kids in Russia. So basically, my main language moved to be Russian, right? But for the last 2 years, I moved to Prague. Right now, I'm living in the Czech Republic. I'm studying Czech every day, so I speak kind of Czech as well today. And yes, people love digital marketing in every single language.
Sure.
And when I'm traveling, doing these conferences, I see that, okay, there are many interesting results for every single language. And it's really different to see how the Google bot, how Fred, for example, which is this artificial intelligence algorithm, is identifying the intent in different languages, right? For example, in Czech, it's completely difficult. In Norwegian, it's crazy. In Russian, it's kind of not there yet. But in it's so easy to be having a beautiful result in English. Yes, because Norwegian, for example, or Czech people, they have so many different words for expressing one simple thing. For example, open the door, you can say it like in 10 different times.
Wow.
And it's open the door, right? And how a bot, how an algorithm is going to be identifying that, well, it's kind of amazing. You have this little bit little knowledge about some other languages. It's really great. But as you were mentioning, no traveling in the last 4 months. I was doing, and this is something that I want to share with you, of course, I was doing basically 3 different countries per week since 2018. So yes, it was like 150 cities, 150 conference per year for me.
Wow.
But the last 4 months, I don't know how was it for you if you were attending offline events, but for me, it was kind of 85% of my time. Right now, that changed a lot, of course, because everything is online. The number of conferences is it's increased because they're all online.
Right.
Again, I cannot wait the moment when I'm going to be in an offline conference or a networking environment, and I have, I don't know, I really need to hug someone from the industry,
Someone needs a hug. Fernando needs to give a hug. Someone needs a Fernando hug. That's good, man. Yeah. So, I imagine a lot of conferences were just canceled outright, but then a lot of, smaller organizations probably started. I mean, that's what I see, at least. They started, a quote unquote conference or virtual event or whatever. So are you, I imagine you're just as busy as ever with the, right? It's not like they were all canceled and you have nothing to do. It's that they just moved online.
Yeah,
I buy it.
And
So,
it's more easy to handle, right?
yeah. Well, I mean, definitely you don't have to travel. You know, the travel is a lot of time and you know, stress and money really also that goes into that. So
Yeah.
that's all shifted, right? But the need, I think the need for you know, you go to conferences and events to hear what the latest and greatest is, to hear, you know, what the bleeding edge is, and to get inspired and motivated, right? And to you know, get input into how you're going to make decisions to shift your marketing strategy. I think the need for that inspiration and that information is at an all-time high, given that there's so much changing in the world today, very quickly. Obviously, we're always changing, but the rate of change with this pandemic is like what we've never seen before. So, you know, would you agree with that? That, you know, people are hungry for the information still, or demand
Oh
is
yes.
there, or
Yeah. Let me add something there. There is this search query that it was really popular a couple of years ago. That is how to open a business an online business, right? Or how to sell online.
Right.
It was really popular.
Sure.
If you can check that in Google Trends, you see that, okay, 70%, because it goes from 1 to 100, right?
Yeah.
But in different places of the world, if you take it that globally, oh my God, how to sell online, it went crazy in March, in May, in June. So you can see that people searching for that everywhere. Is really, really interesting how that change is increasing. How to become an influencer also. So people were trying to say, okay, there is this Instagram platform, there is TikTok platform. So everybody went out and created their TikTok profiles to become influencers, right?
Right.
So yes, people are changing a lot the way they're consuming content, and of course how they're going to be how this is going to be continuing. That's the big question.
Yeah, how it's going to be continuing is definitely the big question. You know, will we go back? What does that change when we go back? You know, I think there's going to be a permanent change. I'm just looking on Google Trends now, how to become an influencer. Yeah, it's a steady rise. Yeah, worldwide, steady rise, and then a peak in the week of April 26th was the peak, evidently. So that's wild. And what I really find kind of cool with like SEMrush is that you guys have so much data. You know, we're talking offline. You said y'all hit 6 million users recently.
6 million users. Yeah, we
That's
reached
amazing.
that a week ago. Oh, it's fantastic. Actually, the first 100,000, it took us like 4 years to reach that.
Yeah.
Then the first million users, it was like I could say 6 years. Then 3 millions, then 4 millions. Last year we reached 4 millions and 5 millions, and only in 3 months it was 1 more million. So
wow.
Yes, basically it's just growing and growing.
That's amazing. You know, we Web Mechanics is an agency. We have an agency account there. We, without all of our clients that come on, we suggest to them that they get their own account just in case, like, we're not in the picture, you know, down the line, that they retain the data with the access and all that. So we've been sending you clients as well and users as well. So there's that.
Well done. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll keep up the good work. We promise. Well, look, you know, the tool is really, you know, this isn't to promote SEMrush, but the tool is, you know, world class, right? Like, I mean, it's like if you're a car mechanic, you know, you don't just use a wrench to fix everything, right? You use specialized tools, and SEMrush is that when it comes to digital online marketing.
Yes, you need power tools. So if you want to have your online visibility, your online store, blog, whatever the product that you want to have, you need to use a tool, right? And if you can just have one single login and one single password to work with your SEO, PPC, content marketing, social media, not to and to have different accounts and different tools. So that's the way that we think that it should be. That one tool will help you, one platform with different tools that can help you to work with everything.
SEMrush is a platform. In that platform, you have a lot of different tools. So, you know, if I don't know if this is a good analogy, is like, you know, if I go to Home Depot or Lowe's or a hardware store and I say, hey, let me buy I want to do lawn maintenance, right? So they would give you, there are brands out there, right, like Black and Decker or Roby or whatever, and they'll say, okay, you're gonna buy these 7 tools, and they're all part of one platform. They all use the same battery pack, or they all use the same
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
And so that's what you guys are for digital marketing. What's really cool for me is like, you guys have so much data that you're collecting yourselves, but also users are pointing you in the direction of and giving you. I'm really interested to know, like, okay, SEMrush has seen this hockey stick growth. Like, what's leading to that? Like, how how is it that it was 4 years for 100,000? And I mean, and some of it is brand recognition and what have you. But what is really working for SEMrush? And I'm asking because you guys are a B2B software, right? And at the end of the day,
Essentially, yes, but in a sense, we are B2B and B2C because any person, as you mentioned a couple of minutes ago, if you go to a magazine, you want to buy the set of tools, right? But most of the people, they're just going to be using one because they are starting, right? They don't need the rest of the tools. So for those, for example, freelancers or bloggers or social media professionals, they don't need to use everything. But if they're going to be escalating their internal processes, they're going to be growing up. At some point, they will need to use all the tools. So we are basically B2C, but if they're going to be growing, they're going to be B2C, B2B as well.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm really interested into like what you guys are seeing working. Like, is it the influencer marketing? Is it, just paid search? I mean, I know it's not that. But what are you seeing working for SEMrush? And then, well, let's start there.
Yeah. And that's a good question because we have a community. Since the beginning, when I started working in SEMrush, we had a really good community. And of course, the digital marketing industry is really big. People who are doing SEO, for example, they are really friendly. There's an international culture, right? Oh, you're doing SEO. Okay, let's take some beers. Let's interchange links, right? So they're really friendly. This is a great community. But when we started creating different products and services, we saw that, okay, there is this SEO community that has nothing to do with the PPC community. PPC community is other type of people. Or for example, the conversion rate optimization community, this is a completely entirely different community. The social media community is another community. Content marketing is another. So we wanted to evolve into a content marketing platform because, okay, you're doing SEO, you need to have content, right? And you need to increase those processes. So for doing that, we just aligned our goals into our users' needs. So we have these meetings, we have these interviews with users every single, I can say every single month. And we have our power users as well. I would say our super elite influencers who are giving us a lot of their knowledge. Of course, we are a lot of feedback, yes, but of course we are inviting them to these private events in a different country with a lot of mojitos, tequilas, with a lot of knowledge as well. We are inviting people like, for example, Avinash Kaushik.
Yeah, he's my idol. I love that guy.
Oh, it's fantastic. So imagine just giving feedback for SEMrush and having a private, only for 40 people, a workshop, 3 hours with Avinash. So
you would call him an influencer. So like, I would say influencer marketing lives under kind of community marketing. Is that
for
fair?
us? That's definitely, because influencer marketing can go with a paid strategy, or just with the relationship strategy, non-paid based, of course.
Right. No, I think that's really. Okay. So what I heard there is the community marketing. Is what really is helping SEMrush.
A lot.
Hockey sticker. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I see your ads on Facebook, and they're good ads, right? So, I mean, that doesn't hurt. Okay. I'm sure the SEO and the content marketing strategy is working too, but at the end of the day, well, not at the end of the day, but I know you have a big component in the community in the community marketing play.
Oh,
Or
yes.
community and
Definitely.
influencer marketing.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So I think, actually that that could, and I mean, is it fair to me to ask, like, you guys pay, I imagine you pay some of these. Like, I know you have an affiliate program, right? So, but
Oh, our affiliate program is really big. Yes.
yeah, but then you pay some of these influencers to spend time with you, to post for you, right? Just like other
Yeah,
brands
yeah.
do. Hmm.
But that's a completely different strategy. Here, they are rewarded because they are promoting our services
Hmm.
in their own platforms. We are not asking to do that, but we
Hmm.
are giving them the tools so they can use banners, they can use
Got it.
our research, our information. But basically, the influencer program is kind of different because you are working, let's say, for a company called Disney, right, or Booking. You're a big corporation, so but people in that company are using different tools.
Yeah.
We identify who are those people, and we say, okay, these guys are for a big brand, they are corporate, and they are using our tools. Let's ask them why and how they are using it.
Hmm.
So for those people who are working with different internal teams around the globe, and I can say we're working with Booking.com, for example, we're working with Hewlett Packard or Philips, and we are learning from them, from those corporates, what are the tools that they need in order to improve, escalate their own internal processes. And we say, okay, we can build this internally to try how your team is going to use it, because in your team you have, I don't know, 15,000 people, and maybe that's something that's going to work for the rest of the community. So we
Right.
have at least 100 different experiments by month. So we are running lot of experiments. Yes. We are
Wow.
crazy about the experiments. Most of them, of course, they failed because yes, they're experiments, right?
Right.
But
Right.
some
Right.
of them they stay and they're really, really great. So that's why
Are
when
these
we
like
started.
what are the scope of these experiments? Are they just like UI changes, copy changes, or are they like brand new features? Or are they scope?
Oh yes, there are brand new features. Of course, you can see all of those wish list experiments
Uh-huh.
in SEMrush. We have this tool that is called User Voice.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
So
yeah. User voice. Yeah. I know
it's
user
like a
voice. Yeah. Yeah.
forum, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you vote, people are voting there, and someone from our product team, they're gonna see, okay, people are interested in this one.
Yeah. And
Hey
people
guys, I'm
upvote
gonna
it.
take, yeah, I'm gonna be adding this to my backlog of tasks,
Yeah.
and I need some beta testers who were in this group. Okay, I have 500 people who voted here. Share with me your emails. Okay, they have this beta testing group with one of our product owners, and they are developing the tools with the
I love
community
it.
that is fantastic,
That
and it
suggested
worked.
it. Yeah, that suggested it. Right. But I like this idea of I love the idea of community. I do agree. Obviously, I'm in the SEO. I'm in the digital marketing community, right? So yes, we are great people. I would agree with that, right? But I
Yeah.
also I'm wondering like how this might translate to someone else. Like I don't know, say you are you do cybersecurity consulting, right? Like I don't know if that community is as vibrant or as sharing as we are. So I'm trying to think like what would be a strategy for them to leverage influence or to leverage community, relationship marketing. Um, you know what I mean? Like a B2B that's a consulting firm, for example. Or, I mean, there's other softwares too, but they're more enterprise, for instance, and they're not, their sales cycles may be longer than a SEMrush.
Yeah. The pipeline for those services, those products, I believe is longer. But
Right.
for example, for the for this community, the cybersecurity or the hackers community, if you want to say that as well,
Mm-hmm.
we have another type of offers because yes, we have 6 million users, right? That means that in terms of security, we need to be aligned with the latest
Mm-hmm.
updates
Mm-hmm.
in security, and we have this price. I don't remember the name of that. Is back hunters. Yes.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yes, it's for back hunting, and I believe we have around. I don't remember how much money we're offering a lot of money, so hackers can go enter. We have our
Oh, that's
security
cool.
team, giving them. Yeah, it's good. So every single month we're paying them for just check entry points somewhere that we are weak. So
that's a really cool like content idea. Just thinking like if you're a security consulting shop, right? A good content idea would be to go to companies like SEMrush or any company that any SaaS or any software that is doing bug hunting, and and work with them to get ideas or get content from them. Say, hey, this bug hunting really worked for this thing. We identified this thing has already been patched, so we can talk about it, right? And now that cybersecurity company talks about it. That'd be really interesting content to follow. Like I would want to follow that. And then when I have a security need, I know who I'm going to go to. So people who are talking, giving me the interesting content. So I think that's really cool.
It is cool, yeah.
And like with Avinash Kaushik, like you guys are definitely leveraging his community, but what he gets out of it is he gets to also leverage your community, right? Like when you bring him in to talk, or when you bring him in to give you ideas or to beta test a tool. So I really like this idea, Fernando. I want to tell you about something one of our clients did recently, and just you might appreciate it. Is they came to us and said, hey, we're going to do this virtual event, okay, but we need you to help us market it. And we said, okay, tell us about it. So they tell us about it. And one of the things we learned is the speakers were like, chief information security officer at Microsoft or Google or insert big name here. And we're like, okay, look, like we can go and buy ads on LinkedIn to get to your target audience. We'll do that. That's fine. But what we really should do is get these speakers to really be promoting this, because they have the audience that you want, right? And so that's where the majority. And so we did that. We put a plan in place on giving them the tools, the content, the script, and to do that. And that's what really drove our virtual event registration.
That's very smart. Yeah, that's very smart.
It's like leveraging other people's marketing, OPM, other people's marketing, right? Other people's network or whatever. And they're happy to do it. They're already there. You're already paying them to speak. Like, why? I mean, right? Like, why not?
Yeah, why not? This is the beauty of digital marketing, or I believe marketing, of course.
Sure.
You can ask all the questions. You can ask for everything. Of course, what is legal and moral and ethical correct. And you can measure that as well. You can have all the results in firsthand. And of course, when you are doing this for a few years, you can say, oh my God, maybe I can try this, or no, I will not do this because I had this experiment and it failed. I need to change that, because you don't want to repeat the failure, right? You want to repeat the success.
Yeah, I agree with that. As in digital, you can measure everything, and so you get feedback a lot faster, right? So the scientific method is you make an observation, then you make a hypothesis, then you test it, and you check the results. That happens a lot faster in digital because you can measure it and you can experiment a lot faster, which is really cool. And the data comes in a lot faster, as opposed to like offline or some traditional thing, or whatever. And speaking of data, you were telling me something that's really cool. SEMrush is now, I don't know if this is a strategy or just something you guys are doing because you have the data, but you're going to media outlets. Tell me about the media outlets that what you guys are doing now. That's super cool.
This is about the strategy that SEMrush take, being a data provider. So when all this story with the fake news started coming, and the big media outlets suffering for lack of trust, we decided to say, okay, so when you are giving your opinion on something and you are saying words like, I believe, I think, or in my opinion, and you don't have any data to support that, you're fake news, right? So for helping the big media outlets, and of course having some brand awareness, just put our logo in that data. We had a group of data scientists who are working with data from more than 800 million domains and 20 billion keywords all over the world. And of course, we have the sources of traffic, and we are using different data points to say, okay, how many people change their behavior after the Twitter hacking situation with the Bitcoin scam last week, right?
Right.
So people checking only Bitcoin price, for example, how many that change, or how what is the correlation between the oil price with the latest Trump tweet, for example. So what is the sentiment around that? So we see these big stock market platforms going down with the price of oil. So people are going to the search engine, in this case Google, to find answers to their questions, to their needs. And we can measure that, saying, okay, people are looking for these sports. Nobody saw any sport for the last 3 months. So what are the sports that people are expecting more to see first, right? We did that for Canada last week for a radio. And imagine, okay, Canada, right? You have hockey, hockey in the first place. It's not, it's tennis.
Really?
Tennis. People are expecting for that, yes, because there is one guy or one girl, I don't remember, who's the main one, and it's so nice to see him playing. And most of the people are searching when he's gonna be playing, when it's gonna be his first match.
Wow. You see, that's cool. That's like business intelligence. Like keyword research. Keyword research is sometimes, it's like you're talking about content marketing being the thread that connects like a lot of digital marketing or all of it. I think keyword research is another one of those threads, right? If you're an SEO or a PPC, you're doing keyword research. If you're a content marketer, you're doing keyword research. You should be doing keyword research. I think that's another thread that ties digital marketing together, and that's what you're talking about here. Is it's not keyword research. It's the big data behind keyword research and the fluctuations therein. I think that's really cool. And then parlaying that into helping media outlets build trust, right?
Yeah.
Like that's very unique.
Let me give you another fun example. A couple of years ago, we were helping British media outlets with the Brexit situation, just to make the situation not that serious. But we found out that when the word Brexit went out with some of the politic figures in the UK, people were searching about first, what is the European Union? So they were not even aware that they were part of the European Union. So we're going away from what? What is the European Union serves the UK? So people were trying to learn more about their right. Yes, so firsthand. So
instead of writing about or talking about Brexit, like you can do that. Everyone's doing that, but But there's an opportunity over here to talk about what is the European Union, when was it formed, what's the idea behind it, what does it mean for you?
What are the benefits of being there, right?
Yeah, sure, yeah. Like talking about the other side, or just informing to begin with. Yeah, wow, that's good.
Yeah, that's cool. Or another example, for example, in Australia, they were trying to make. I believe that law has passed, marijuana legal, for example. So all the people were expecting that day when I don't remember if it was in Melbourne, in Sydney. I'm not so sure of that, but they were expecting to that day to sell marijuana-related products. So for vegetarians, for vegans, for in candies. So they were searching for those products. Marijuana milk or something related. So people were really
interested
interested and imagine new products based on that because it was legal.
Oh, right. Yeah. So you can see, so that's cool. So it's like product research.
It's a product research, because it's like a new market.
Right.
People are searching for this.
THC, CBD, like obviously the oil is probably popular, but like milk, like you brought up, right? It's like if you see that, you're like, wow, like there's some demand for that. This is what I'm talking about. Like it's data is. It's not just data to like write the next article. It's data that can influence your entire business strategy or product strategy, right? That's really cool. It's business intelligence is what it's called.
It is.
And I don't. I mean, I don't know, like, I don't know exactly how business intelligence is done, if there is like a standard for it, but what we're talking about here is that the marketing department, or our community, has access to data that can inform business intelligence, that can be parlayed into business intelligence, is right. That's what we're talking about here. That's what SEMrush is doing, which is really
Yes,
cool.
actually, we're offering that data, and as you mentioned, yes, there are different standards for doing business intelligence
Mm,
in different countries. You can go with business intelligence till that moment that you are not doing any espionage, that you are not doing any industrial espionage, and you're not going to
mhm,
hacking.
mhm,
You can find everything that is public information,
mhm.
everything that everybody can find, but it's difficult to gather everything, all the information in one single document.
Right.
So in SEMrush, you can find all the information that is public all over the world with more than 20 billion keywords, for example,
Mhm.
with a couple of clicks.
That's
That's the
amazing.
business intelligence that you can do.
And Fernando, that is why we, as an agency, are a subscriber, or a customer of SEMrush, and we have our clients sign up. There's your reason right there, right? And then and then thank you also for your time. I got to cut it off just for time purposes, but thanks for the inspiration around influencer marketing and community and relationship marketing. I think that there's I mean, look, it's growing. There's no question that that's growing. I think the term influencer marketing, like, is new within the last. I mean, it's not new, because even back in like the whatever 80s, 60s, 70s, whatever, you would see product placement in movies, right? You see a Coca-Cola can in a movie. That's a form of relationship marketing, right? But now, with technology, with the different social platforms, with just the kind of globalization, it's easier than ever for someone to get into that, right? And to be an influencer, but more so to get access to communities that would be a purchaser of your product or service, through other people's networks.
Yeah, I totally agree. And in the middle of that, of course, is trust. If
Hmm.
you trust the influencer, you're gonna be following
Yeah,
his suggestions, his recommendations, his way of living. Or
yeah,
if you're following a brand as well, we have Apple people
yeah.
out there. Oh, actually, you're Apple or Android?
I'm Apple.
Oh, nice. I'm Android. See?
Okay, we can
Yeah,
still be
yeah,
friends, I guess.
yeah. We can still be friends. Yeah.
My wife uses Android, and we're still married after however many years, 7 years, whatever it is. But
Oh, yeah.
so it
Have your
works. It
iPhone
works.
or
It can work.
Android? Yeah, you're using what is the face call? I don't know what is the application in Apple for
All right.
the messages.
Uh-huh. iMessage.
iMessage. Oh my God, yes, you're not using any message because
Right. Yeah.
that's that
That's
is
the reason I want
in
her to
Android.
switch, is just for the iMessage. Literally, that's the only
Yeah,
reason.
yeah,
I did
yeah.
get her to switch from a Windows to a Mac recently, so that's progress, Fernando. Progress.
Oh yeah, yeah. I believe that. Yeah.
Hey man, thank you so much for your time. I really enjoyed this. I think the audience will as well. Influencer marketing, some cool strategies, some different ways of thinking than just like the normal, publish your blog and your social media. It's like, no, like, there's people out there, use them, and then the other piece is data and different places. Like, look to your marketing department for business intelligence. I think that's two key takeaways that are really powerful, and can hopefully help someone or some companies out there to change their strategies for the better.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thanks very
Arshan,
much. And
for the
SEMrush,
time.
SEMrush.com, I obviously endorse it, and I'm not an affiliate either, so there you go. Thank you, Fernando. Take care, be safe out there, and I'll talk to you again soon.